What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Lunch with the Clydesdale. We are having a heck of a day with technology, but I am now on a new area, whatever, trying to figure this thing out. StreamYard tried to launch. It didn't. It did. Then it shut off. And now we're over here on a different feed. Hopefully everybody finds me. I know it's already going to be wild because Rich Froning's on another channel right now. So I'm sure that is going to take a lot of eyes. But we're going to have some fun here for 45 minutes. And maybe people can catch up later. So with all the technical stuff, let's go with a simple dart toss. And better, but not good enough. All right. So what's going on, guys? What's going on? Yesterday, I had a lot of trainings to do at work. Got those knocked out yesterday afternoon. Much better day today. Now just trying to cruise through and having these weird internet issues today. Andrew Sten, Ola, back to normal life. That will take a few days for my legs to recover after averaging 20K steps a day last week. You were killing it, man. I saw you everywhere at the age group games. Hey, but it's lunchtime with Clydesdale. Loyalty. There you go, Jay Birch. When you picked me over the goat, I am flattered. Very flattered. So yeah, a lot of you found the new feed. Thank you for jumping over here. What's up, Jess? Meredith, Amanda. I know Trent Olive was over on the other one. Hopefully he finds us over here. That's the only person I saw before the feed died. But anyway, fun stuff. Cut down day in the NFL. Watching my phone anxiously to see who's going to get cut. It's an exciting day. Some people are going to make their first NFL squads. Some people are not. And that's a crazy day. So, also been fighting with insurance today. Aren't we to a point where we need to stop fighting for insurance? It used to be your doctor would prescribe a medicine. It would go through insurance. They said yes or no, and it's done. No, I am having this asthma issue. I have a second inhaler, which I have not had in about a month. And I finally get a prescription. It goes to the pharmacy. It gets blocked because there has to be a prior authorization from the doctor, but the doctor's the one who prescribed it. Why can I not understand? I don't get it. Why do I have to do all this legwork to get my prescription? That never used to be the case. Now it's, I got to do the legwork and do your job for you. And finally, I think today it finally got approved. Now I just got to wait for it to get filled. But good gravy. Then you suffer for a week in high allergy time. It's just, God, so over it. Shanna, some parts of medicine is broken. I know, man. I know. Can't with insurance companies. Gosh, it took us 3 years for my wife to get double knee replacement approved. Oh my gosh. It's just crazy. Realizing I need to find a way to have a career doing CrossFit and not having a real job. Yeah. We talked last year, right, Brett, that no matter what you did at the CrossFit Games, you come home and your boss still has emails he wants answered. And there you are. Having to wait a week when it comes to asthma situation is dangerous. It felt dangerous a couple times, but I think I've pushed through. Hopefully we get some answers soon. And yes, they do suck so much. All right. Before we get into too much, I wanted to give a huge shout out to Holli Duggan. If you were watching the Instagram this week, she put out leaderboards for every event, for every division at the Age Group CrossFit Games. And the reason she does that is we want to give you guys who are athletes, if you finish top 5, a way to share that with your family and your friends. It's in a nice, pretty fashion and not like just trying to like screen grab a leaderboard or something. And she absolutely kills it every big competition. She put out leaderboards. She put out overall leaderboards at the end of the weekend. She put out overall leaderboards every evening going into the next day. And the best thing she did was consolidated the schedule into a way that makes sense. So many people come up to me and say they use her schedule because it's easier to read than what's on Competition Corner or what's been supplied by the event. She takes that and puts it all into like a neat little Instagram post, and it has the men on one screen, the women on another for event 1, then the men and the women for event 2, and so on and so forth. That was how I got around all weekend to know who was up when. And so I just want to give her all the due that she deserves. And if you are running a competition, you need to reach out to this girl and hire her. Like if you're running a competition and you want stuff to give to the athletes to share, to make things easier, she is the person to do that. Like hire her, give her the logos to use, have her make up those shots and just send them out all day long. That girl needs hired by competitions to do that. Nobody does it better than her. Period. End of story. And we are lucky to have her. The next thing is I'm diving back into the Hattie episode 2, starting to work on that while playing around a little bit with my stuff from the age group games. But I've got to get the Hattie one done first and then move into the age group stuff. But that stuff will be coming out over the next couple weeks. So look for that. And I also did release another members only, a raw and uncut interview with Caroline Klutz, the winner of the 35 to 39. And I think I'm going to release one more of those and then save the rest for the project that we're working on to compile everything. So if you are a member, go check out Caroline Klutz. It was released late last night. And I'm going to put one more out probably today, and then we'll end that for now. And yeah, so there's that. Big news, WFP is happening this week. And I don't know if you guys saw, it's happening in the Mesa, Phoenix, Arizona area. And did you see what rolled in there yesterday? The wall of dust. Can you believe this? Like it lasted, I guess, like if you were in it, it was about 15 minutes long. They talked to a woman who was in a car and it kind of like rolled over her. She said it lasted about 15 minutes long, shook the car the entire time, that like people in their homes, the dust got in every crack and crevice. But this happened on Monday, and that's where the WFP is going to happen this weekend. So I guess it's an unnaturally dry time in Arizona right now. And this is like a front coming in and somehow picks up all the dust and moves it forward. And it's called a Haboob. And yeah, wow, crazy. Like that is like biblical type stuff right there. I cannot believe And I think Will Morad was driving in. I think on his Instagram, he actually posted a picture of them driving into it to get to the venue yesterday. So crazy stuff, man. Crazy stuff. That Haboob was jazzed. It was. It had all the jazz to it. All the jazz. So anyway, other news from that, Haley Adams announced her withdrawal from the WFP. So that now takes us down to where Haley Adams has withdrawn, Jeff Adler has withdrawn, Alex Kazan, Emma McQuaid, and Bethany Flores. So 5 of the athletes have withdrawn at this point, and they've all been backfilled already. I think this is something that we're probably going to see more of in the busier times, especially with this busy off season. You have Rogue, you have Wadapalooza SoCal, and then you have Copenhagen for the finals of the WFP. And I think this could be a trend more than just a one-off, but who knows? I could be all wrong. I also heard a wild rumor this weekend at the age group games. I don't have confirmation on this. So again, wild rumor. I'm stating that over and over again. Wild rumor that the WFP is going to go exclusive next year. And they are upping the amount of money they are offering the athletes to pull as many of them away from the CrossFit season as possible. And that we could be left with 2 tracks, people who stayed, people who left. The people who left will be in the WFP, people who stayed will be in CrossFit, and you'll have 2 separate tracks rolling down at the same time. And the money, from what I understand, is very substantial. Possibly in the 6 figures. And if you're offered that is crazy. I mean, guaranteed 6 figures, or take a chance at maybe 6 figures. It is insane. Now, again, wild rumor. No idea if this is true. But that is what I'm hearing. And you have it exactly right, John. Live versus PGA. It is very much that. Meredith, how much money do these people have that they can just throw it around willy-nilly? They have that kind of money. So the people that you have met, like Jackson and the board with Will Morad and all of that, it's not necessarily their money. It's the parents' money. And the parents have stupid money. So I don't know. As a parent, you want to do everything you can for your kid, right? Everything you can for your kid. And I could see a parent wanting their kid to be successful and putting, if they have that kind of money, putting whatever they wanted at them to make them successful. They must really want to stick it to CrossFit. If it's true, again, I have no confirmation on this. It is something that I have heard, but I cannot get confirmation on it from anybody reliable. So if that happens, it's going to be wild. And I've talked to people who say, if the money's good enough, and it can support them, they're probably going to go for the money. To be able to do what they love and get supported to do it, they're probably going to take. It's just like live in the PGA. Some people took the money. Some people decided to rest on the morals of what they believed in. And Liv had some other things to it, right? That money came from a culture that they call it blood money. I mean, it is, they called moving that into sport, whitewashing what they had done. It's a crazy, if you have not looked into the live thing, we don't have that with WFP. They're not trying to whitewash anything. They're trying to just spend money. Meredith says, it makes me think that someone in the organization really has a beef with someone in CrossFit to want to stick it to them so badly. It's also a parent wanting their kid to be successful and giving them as much money as they need to do that. I think that has a lot of power to it that if you're not a parent, you don't understand. If you are a parent, you do have an understanding of that. The WFP doesn't have any revenue streams. That's the problem. They're not paying for this with revenue streams, though. They're paying for this with their other businesses that they've made $1 billion in, and that they have this spare change laying around that they can help their kids be successful. So, and I don't know, I've not seen their checking account. I don't know how much stupid money they have. I've just heard from a lot of people that it is stupid money that they can just kind of throw this money to their kids to help them be successful. I think the idea is that they keep it running long enough where people leave CrossFit and come to their organization, then the revenue streams will follow after. The people running the WFP are the kids of very wealthy people. Jay Birch. So Jackson Terry is a kid, him and his wife, they are the children of very, very successful people with a lot of money. And I don't think they care about revenue streams right now. But I also think that they've made a lot of mistakes. And this is not the time to try to throw your weight around, because I'm not saying it's the right choice. To all you guys arguing with this point, I'm not supporting what they're doing. I don't necessarily think it's the best avenue to go. I just know that I'm just hearing it's happening. I don't think it's the best way to go. I don't think it's the best way to build a business. I've said that several times on here. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing from some of the people who are very close to the situation. Yeah, they are doubling down. They're doubling down to try to build interest. If they can be the only people with X number of athletes and they're the top athletes, they think that that will then turn into an exclusivity that makes people want to watch them. But I am a casual golf fan. I have never watched a live event in my life. I watch the Masters and I watch the British Open and I watch the US Open if I watch golf at all in a season. But they're just doubling down trying this thing. And I'm not judging their success. I'm telling you what they're thinking of trying to do. At the end of the day, I think that we as a CrossFit community and culture will watch the CrossFit Games season regardless of the athletes that are in it. It's been around too long for us that do this every day. If athletes have to choose, I think the WFP will lose. They will get has-beens and the ones on their way out of CrossFit already, along with a select few who exited because of Lazar. I think you're wrong. I think if you go back and watch what happened with Liv and the PGA, that's what people thought there. And then they got, was it Bryson DeChambeau and a couple of the big hitters. And then it made it okay for others to go. If it's six figures, there is nothing in the CrossFit Games season other than Rogue and the games. And the games only, the only six figure, the games only six figure payout is the winner. Everything below that now is like 60 grand and less. And if you're guaranteed six figures, man, that's, and I'm supporting a family. I don't know. It'd be hard. Trained Olive, I think the athletes that are looking to make money from sport will continue into WFP. I think if it's stupid money and you don't have that opportunity anywhere else, why not? I don't know. If you watch Full Swing on Netflix, Rory McIlroy fought off Liv, stood up against Liv. Then, in a year after he did all that, he got hosed by the PGA when they said they're going to merge with Liv. Now, that merger still hasn't happened, but gosh, like he put his reputation on the line for all of this stuff. And then right after the fact, they go ahead and merge. It's crazy. It's just, and there are parallels there. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I won't ever pay to attend the WFP event, yet I've paid to go to the games 10 times. I don't disagree with you. I'm only reporting what I think is happening. I think that it proved this year that a good chunk of people will continue to watch CrossFit, to go to CrossFit, as long as they put together a season that makes sense and gets us from point A to point B to find the fittest on earth, regardless of who those athletes are. But we have ownership in limbo. We have no guarantee what the season's going to look like next year. If you're going to try to double down, it's probably the year to do it. But you better have deep pockets to even take a shot at it. Take CrossFit out of it. You're being offered essentially the exact same job, but you're guaranteed more money. Americans every day leave their jobs for more money, go to the other company for more money. To not expect the athletes to do the same is, I think, naive. I think, John again, I think he says, I think they need to figure out how to get people to their event. I think that is not their primary concern. I think their primary concern are to get eyeballs on their sport, and they're trying everything they can do to do that. Even the highest elite athletes in the sport doesn't guarantee people are going to attend. That's what we learned from their last event. Right. But if it becomes exclusive and it's the only place you can see them, we haven't seen that tested yet. That's what they're going to test next year. If Jason Hopper signs with them, or Dallin Pepper signs with them, Alex Kazan signs with them, and that's the only place you can see them, then we'll see a true test. And they're doubling it down to see What will happen when that happens? And again, this is a rumor. We're talking a lot about a rumor. I don't know that this is to be true. So I did watch your latest video, the Unbreakable with Emma Lawson and Jack Farlow. And I think that it was okay. It was okay. I thought it was better than some of their others. It seems the ones the Buttery Bros do, and then when they get into more conversational pieces, it takes a little bit of an uptick. Because I just don't want to see people work out anymore. I've seen that enough. I think Jack Farlow is going to be a star. He is really dry funny. Really, really enjoyed him a lot. Emma, I thought her talking about the back injury and how taking some time off this season and just doing WFP actually helped her. That also is another thing that helps them in their recruitment of athletes. It gave her time to kind of get everything back in place and heal the right way. So that was interesting. All in all, I probably give it a B. But nothing earth shattering, nothing I haven't seen before. But better than some of their other. I did want to address something yesterday. We talked about how the dreamers are forced to pay for their dream in the CrossFit Games season, especially the age group athletes are charged every step of the way, and then their families are forced to pay these large ticket prices to get in the door. And I got a comment saying that if you're doing local comps, you still have to pay. And I get that. And I guess my thing was that wasn't my point. My point was that CrossFit only looks at a linear revenue path. And I wish they would look outside that linear revenue path, because people like John and Hurt Athletics, if you get people in the door to where they want to come buy some stuff, that helps the vendors get excited about being there. The more vendors that are there, the more people will want to come shop. The more people want to come shop, the more vendors we add on to that. And then we actually have something, an ecosystem at these events that actually starts paying for things outside of just the flat revenue source. That's what I was saying. We need to look at more creative ways to get people in the door. Like Wadapalooza has their free day Thursdays, and they have the biggest vendor village of any competition I've ever been to. That works. You get butts in the seats, and Wadapalooza's biggest problem is not having enough seating. And that is a great problem to have. Most competitions don't have that problem, but they do. It helps that they're in Miami in January. Now that they're moving to March or whatever it is, I hope that they still have that draw. But that, just to address that one comment that we got back, that was my point. Not about that I don't think people should pay their way. It's that we need to look at other revenue sources. Well, that's just creative marketing. They throw a fitness festival. That's my point. That's my point. Make it bigger than just coming to watch people work out. And then vendors come, and then people will come, and then ticket prices can be lowered. And then it becomes like a big festival and everybody hanging out. That's what you want. And we keep eliminating the festival aspects of all of these events that CrossFit holds. And because of that, we're diminishing the crowds. We are like when we were in Madison and there was a campground and there was outdoor events with a cheap festival ticket that you could come hang out with your buddies watching on a big screen in a beer garden or out at the outdoor events or go camping at the RV, all of those things, those were butts in the vendor village. All of that goes to like help with the funding of everything that goes on. Yes, Amy. CrossFit events are so much more fun when there's a festival atmosphere. Right. We've got to find a way to bring that back. For not just the games, but also with the age group CrossFit games and other events around. Even Rogue doesn't have that for a vendor village. So we're running late. I wanted to do a top 5 events that I like to appear in person and go to, and I'm going to count them down. My honorable mention for this is Rogue. When Rogue was in Columbus, it was one of my favorite events to ever attend. Then Rogue went to Round Rock in Texas, and it was like boxed into a baseball stadium with no festival feel. So it just became an honorable mention for me on this. And now I've not been to Scotland for it. I don't know what they're doing over there. It seems to be cool. I've heard good things, but I haven't seen it for myself to be able to move it back into the top 5. Number 5 for me on the list is Legends. Legends in Arizona is a great place to watch a CrossFit event. 2 moving floors, lots of cool places to watch the events from. An outdoor Olympic swimming pool where you have a swimming event right outside the door, and everything is contained closely so you can kind of get to everything. And there are tents and booths everywhere around all the floors. Great place to go hang out. It's on Arizona State campus. Lots of fun. Number 4, Withdrawals, Miami. Withdrawals, Miami is a great place to go. I used to call it the CrossFit family reunion. When you go there, you seem to see everybody you've met in the space over the years. Lots of vendors, lots of shopping you can do. 3 moving floors again, moving around to different locales, right on the water. January in Florida is way better than January in Ohio. It's a fun place to get to. My only drawback to Withdrawals, Miami is it is a lot of stimulation in a short amount of time. And sometimes it's just good to go back to the Airbnb or the hotel and just decompress for a little bit, because it's a lot of music, a lot of interaction with people, and a lot in a short amount of time. Yes, I know. Now it's in March, but I'm basing this on where I've been. So maybe it'll move off the list in the future. Number 3 is the CrossFit Games. It's always been down at about the number 3 spot for me. I know it's the pinnacle of the sport, but it's the least kind of like fun place to be to watch the sport. Now, Madison was better than Albany, which was better than Fort Worth. But you have no access to athletes. You have no access to coaches, really. It's very tightly secured. Things are just a little bit different. It's a little more edgy. Everybody's on edge, I should say. And even though I had a great time there this year, it only comes up to number 3 on my list. Number 2 for me would be the Syndicate Crown or US semifinals, because I've not been to the European ones. I see they're great on the stream. but the semifinals are more fun to me than the games. People are fighting for a position at the CrossFit Games. Everybody is accessible. You can talk to people. And Syndicate Crown does it really well. Like this year, they added the John Young and the Heavy Isabel to the race. They did a Kill Taylor. The year before, they had an outdoor competition on the like the walk up to the venue. There was an outdoor competition going on out there with a pretty big vendor village and a lot of people just hanging out, having a good time. Syndicate Crown is a blast. If you've ever not gone to a competition live and you want to do it in a more affordable fashion, I tell you, go to semifinals. I had people come up to me there say that they heard me say that before, and they were so glad that I told them. They had way more fun at semis than they did at the games. And my number one place to go see a CrossFit competition is the age group CrossFit Games. It is the best community. It is the most pleasant community. You can hang out with everybody. And when it was here in Columbus, I got to sleep in my own bed, and you walk out the door of the venue. There are 500 plus restaurants to just walk to. It was the best placed event that I have seen in my time in CrossFit. And I'm not just saying that because I live in Columbus, but it literally was right in the hub of all the cool stuff we have here in town. You walk out the door, and in walking distance, 500 restaurants. I kid you not. It was so much fun. And the athletes are just hanging out. And you can walk up to them, and they're willing to take pictures. They're willing to sign autographs. They're willing to just sit and talk. You can approach Boz. You can approach Dave. You can approach people that you would never have that opportunity to at other events. It is really, really a fun and good time at the age group CrossFit Games. And this year, every floor was packed. Every floor was packed. I think their biggest issue, if they hold it here next year, is to get more stands around every floor, because it was jam-packed on every floor for every event. And that was fun to see. I looked at some pictures today from Rudy Berger when it was at Madison, and how little the crowds were in the stands at the Coliseum when the Masters were on the floor. There were way more people in Columbus for this than there were at that CrossFit Games in Madison. So cool to see. First time being at the CrossFit Games age group. It was an awesome experience. What I loved is all the support family friends showed to them over the weekend. Brett Owsley, competitor at the games, really enjoyed Columbus. Great location, great food. Zoo, museum, kept the family entertained while I rested. See, we have it all. We have it all. And as long as you don't stay in the hood, you're good to go. And Rogue is 5 minutes down the street. 5 minutes down the street. So if you have the wrong clips for your axle bars, if you really wanted to keep them, you could go buy some new clips. Just saying. So with that, that's been the fun thing. I have a very, very funny story from this last weekend. And I told you guys that I am the most awkwardly social podcaster in the space. And this story is going to prove that to you in a big way. But I want to wait until Corey is on with me tomorrow, so I can tell the story to him. You guys can listen in, and yeah, it's going to be a good one. Really, really good one. Andrew Sten, I'm really surprised Rogue didn't have a presence at the event. Me too. Even if it was just a small signage to say, hey, go down 5th Street or 5th Avenue, and we're down the street 5 minutes, and come check out our showroom. Just something as simple as that. All the equipment was Rogue. Just a sign to say, hey, come visit us at our location on Fifth Avenue. So, but I have other thoughts on Rogue as well that I'll have to keep to myself. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I was shocked. Yeah, me too. I thought they would have a booth there for sure, but why make a booth when you're just down the street, though? You know, I mean, their showroom is massive. Just go down there and check it out. Well, with that, guys, I have to get back to work. Time for you knuckleheads to get back to work as well. We will see everybody tomorrow for my funny story about how I'm socially awkward. We'll see everybody tomorrow, guys. Back to work. I'm out of here.